Dear believer, I am writing to you about something you may be well acquainted with: affliction. Much has been written on affliction by our forebears. A good part of it you may have known for a long time. For example, you probably know that all affliction is ultimately traceable to our tragic fall in Adam. You know, too, the grievousness of affliction. After all, who enjoys suffering? Yet you should also know that all affliction is sent by a wise, fatherly God. Perhaps you even know, as the entire book of Job and the Puritans never tire of teaching us, that the important thing is not the amount of affliction we receive, but how we respond to it. Isn't this the source of your deepest questions about affliction and trials? You want to respond in a God-glorifying manner, but you feel you often fall inexcusably short. You desire that your entire life may serve God's praise, Isaiah chapter 43, verse 21. But somehow, when you enter the heat and heart of affliction, you find yourself losing grip on your firm intention. To respond rightly to affliction before it comes is hard. To look back on it gratefully after it is over is harder. But to live Christianly in affliction is hardest. Hence, you ask yourself again and again, how can I live through affliction more Christianly, in a way that is more like Christ? And how can I grow in grace while suffering affliction? You are not alone in such wrestling. Countless times God's children have been there, begging to be made conformable to the image of Christ through the furnace of affliction, the wrestling often agonizing. The prayer is simple: Lord, grant me grace to live through this affliction Christianly. Through years of encountering affliction, including times of running from, wrestling with, resolving against, and, by grace, submitting to and bowing under it, I have gleaned a few thoughts on how to live Christianly through affliction. These I wish to share with you. But as you allow me to provide several practical suggestions on this eminently practical subject, please bear in mind that we are always dependent on the sanctification of the Holy Spirit at every juncture for real spiritual benefit under affliction. Without the Spirit's gracious influences, affliction may readily lead us away from, rather than toward, God. I wish to focus my suggestions to you around one major theme that, sad to say, took me many years to learn, even in small measure. The most effective means for living Christianly in affliction is to consider Christ, the fountainhead of all vital Christianity. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 1. To live Christianly in any sphere or aspect of life requires Spirit-worked faith to look to Him, to feast on Him, to depend on Him. Yes, to find both our life in Him, on Calvary's cross, and our death in Him, as exalted Lord, to whom we belong. Consider Christ. The author to the Hebrews mentions this in Hebrews chapter 3, verse 1, and again in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 3. That's the crux of the whole matter of coping with affliction well. Consider Christ. But how, you ask, and in what ways must I consider Him? We will contemplate 10 ways in this booklet.